All right, the president's slamming the Democrats' push for impeachment as we get closer and closer to a vote in the Senate. But what have the senators been hearing from the president's defense team? You know what they've been hearing?
Their definition of abuse of power is exactly antithetical to the framers' approach.
You are being asked to remove a duly elected president of the United States, and you're being asked to do it in an election year.
What they are asking you to do is to throw out a successful president on the eve of an election with no basis and in violation of the Constitution.
They've been hearing some cold, hard facts rather than, shall we say, the emotional theater and theatrics that you'd get from Adam Schiff's grand performance that we saw last week.
People are cynical enough as it is about politics, about people's commitment to their good. Cynical enough without having us confirm it for them. This is no less true of Alexander Hamilton. Hamilton wrote, Hamilton envisioned. Hamilton wrote, GOP senators were warned, vote against your president, vote against the president, and your head will be on a pike.
And by the way, how many times do we have to hear about Alexander Hamilton from Adam Schiff, who really shouldn't be talking about him in this context, shall we just say, right now? I mean, not unless he's auditioning for his local community musical of Hamilton. Joining me right now is presidential historian and author of Inside Trump's White House, Mr. Doug Wead. Good to see you, Doug.
Wow. Hi, good to see you,
I mean,
Trish.
Crazy times. I am telling you, we, sir, are on the front lines, really, of history. And I say that in earnest and not in the way that CNN or MSNBC says it, but in a way that, you know, we're watching people right now that want to take down America effectively by undoing the votes of 63 million voters. I mean, I feel as though we might as well be in Paraguay sometimes.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting you showed the Adam Schiff comment, and how ironic that he concluded and ended the whole presentation with a fake story. It just illustrates how unprepared and unprofessional the whole Democrat attack was. It was, as you and others have pointed out, it was emotion. It was driven by emotion, the head on the spike. He ends with a false story, the whole conclusion of his impeachment. I think history will see this impeachment, Trish, as what I would describe false impeachment, a false impeachment, because it was strictly partisan.
Well, it may get, you know, basically pushed aside as early as this Friday, according to Lindsey Graham. Do we have some sound from the senator? I believe we do. We're going to find that so that we can show the viewer what he recently said on Fox, actually. Here we go.
The president will be acquitted, and I think it will be this week, but you've unleashed the forces of partisan hell on future presidents if we legitimize this.
So you think that the vote on Friday is going to be a vote to acquit the president?
I think the vote on Friday is going to get us to a vote to acquit the president before the State of the Union is my hope.
Before the State of the Union, a vote to acquit. Wow. Do you see that happening?
Wow. I don't know now with all that's going on.
Well, because basically, you know, Mitt Romney, right? Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, those are the senators that are kind of on the fence, and they're saying maybe we should bring witnesses. But it doesn't sound as there's any teeth there in terms of the witnesses. And, you know, I'm not adverse to it. I'd kind of like to hear what John Bolton has to say. He probably wants to get up there so he can sell some more books.
But it's, as Rosanna Dana used to say, there's always something. It doesn't matter if Bolton testified, they'd drag out something else. Right. They aren't going to stop. It will never end.
I mean, it feels like Mueller was ages ago.
I know. That's why this impeachment is instructive, not because of what's in it, but because what isn't in it. There's no Russian collusion. Finally, the Democrats admit we went through 2 years of false hell for nothing. They can't impeach him for that because it wasn't true. There's no bribery in there. There's no quid pro quo in there. So it's more interesting and significant for what they can't prove.
I'm going to take a quick opportunity to do a little self-promotion and remind our viewers that we are live here on Fox Business for the State of the Union next week, and I will be hosting our primetime coverage immediately following the State of the Union. So please stay tuned for that. Doug Wead, always a pleasure, sir.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
All right,
Trish.
President Trump just finishing up a rally in Wildwood, New Jersey.